Welcome to the Rugby AM sheds. Jonesy, we're inside the sheds. We've been building the brick wall all day, but what I think we need is some shirts to decorate. So Keith, Jonesy, you're going to bring some shirts down. Anyone out there wants to bring any shirts for us to represent inside the studio, please bring them down. This is the Reactive Insurance sheds. Right now we're joined by the main man himself, Mr. Tony Abbott. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hi Tony.
How you doing, fella?
How are you going? I just wanted to ask you a few questions about business in rugby league. And one of the things that Marwan talked about was his golden ticket idea. Have you heard about his golden ticket idea?
He's so mad, that man. Go on, what's he said?
Do you want to explain it, Simon?
The golden ticket basically allows every team in Super League a golden ticket. It's worth 300 grand and you can spend it on a marquee player off the salary cap. If you don't want to spend it on a player, any club can buy your ticket off you for another marquee player. So Salford could, in fact, Marwan could say, I'll have 5 golden tickets, give 1.5 million away to other clubs and have 5 marquee players off the cap. That's his basic idea, to attract better players into the game. What's your thoughts on that, Tom?
I think if you can afford them, then why not? I think where the game's going at the moment, I think clubs are trying to do things that they can't necessarily afford, and the rumours as spending next year's distribution. As long as we can afford it out of our own pockets, then fine. But if we're going to ruin the game in terms of financial aspect, then I disagree.
That's my big question to you. Completely honestly, is rugby league a viable business investment? You're a businessman yourself. You've done very well for yourself for working harder and harder for years. You've got involved with rugby, but is it a viable business investment?
2 answers. If you're a fan, no. Absolutely not. But if you run it like a business, then possibly. But I'm a big fan of putting back what you earn, and don't spend what you haven't got. So yeah, it can, but you got to run it like a business for sure.
Do you not think that the owners do need to be fans? It's like Marwan's come in, he's got all this money, and he's looking to spend it. But basically, he needs to be a fan, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think you can be passionate. I can only talk for the board that I'm involved in. We're all very passionate and we're fans, but we tend to run the club like a business. You can't spend what you haven't got.
Would you like it to be that way, where the Marwans of this world can be so? We don't like to talk about football, but the Chelsea, where they've got unlimited amount of money. Would it be great for that to happen in rugby?
I guess so. I think it ruined the game in the end. But I spent me and Simo have both spent time in Oz recently, and the way they seem to do it over there, maybe if we brought that back over here, then why not?
Obviously you're a southerner from your accent, you're from down south. We've tried for a long time to try and get the game further south and get away from this northern stereotype. My argument is that instead of trying to spread it like a bit of a virus where it catches on, we should make it as good as it can be in the north, all right, and let them come to us. Let them be attracted to our product. It's not good enough in the north. There's too many clubs that have not got financial stability. So how do we get that then southerners attracted into the game and bring that revenue from down there?
It's how we market the game. That was saying earlier when we was having a coffee about, we had a magic weekend at Manchester. It was fantastic. What a fantastic experience, 2-day event. And I think the marketing about it was come and see Magic Weekend. And he didn't tell me when it was, what day it was, what it was about. I think we can improve our marketing. And I'm not kicking Reddell. That's far from it, because I think there's a lot of good at Reddell. I think what we've done last year in the World Cup, I think we should all be very, very proud of. But I think some of that learning we should be putting into this season, not just Super League, Championship 1, and going back to the grassroots of rugby. I think that's, the whole thing needs looking at.
Do you honestly think that the marketing is the way forward? Because I think that was the idea behind the Stobart sponsorship. They didn't take money, but it was all the marketing, because they were getting out on 220 trucks around the country and basically marketing rugby league.
Yeah, I think there's the cash within the game to market the product. It should be marketed. If you look at maybe darts, the way they've marketed their products over the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's not that long ago. I think was it now second watch sport on Sky. That's what we need. We need some passion around the game, and we should be talking to these people and trying to get them involved.
I think it's great how darts have championed working class heroes, because rugby league is a blue collar sport. It's the sport of the people, and I do think that we could probably look to build a wider entertainment package around the matchday experience, around the game. Where do you see, Tony, the opportunities to grow the game? We've been to the NRL and we've spent some great time over there. Thank you to the Roosters who made me very welcome, and a huge thank you to Bo Ryan who gave us a lot of ideas and pointers for this TV show and to develop this.
Yeah.
But how do you see the opportunity going for our game in the UK for Rugby League?
Yeah, you got to forget 80 minutes. It's not about 80 minutes. It's the hour and a half, 2 hours before the game. It's the hour, 2 hours after the game, and you've got to give the Speckies some entertainment value. We got to widen it out. We got to make it bigger and better. You know, and I've seen that in the UK. You know, when I first fell in love with the game, I certainly saw that at Bradford, giving it a good shot, maybe 10 years ago. But you know, we need to do that more. We need to be, you know, bigger and better and flamboyant with our ideas, I think.
Leeds are a club, Jonesy, that are succeeding. They're thriving in a great heartland that is Leeds. Can the Leeds structure be spread out across other teams, or do you think it's unique to the city?
It can be. We've always had a strong following in rugby league in Leeds. I think Gary Everton's probably the mastermind behind that. He's a very clever bloke, and I think the business model that he's got has obviously worked. Anyway, I've described him as one of the Medicis from the Medici Bank back in Florence, Lorenzo de Medici. That's how clever he is, and he uses all the talents, the abilities, the attributes that the local community's got, whether that be somebody who's really good at dance, somebody who's really intelligent like Ryan Hall, bit of a Rain Man. He takes all these different attributes around the city and brings them all to Headingley, and he displays it there all there. And instead of having a ground that's only open 1 day a week, on the game day, it's open 7 days a week, and we've got weddings on, we've got meetings on, we've got all kinds of exhibitions. Our Leeds Rugby Foundation's got a Children's Day, and it's just a 7 day a week showcase for us, and that's what you've got to do. That's what we're doing in essence, being here right now. We're trying to showcase the personalities in our great game, and that's all we can do, really.
But do you just think that that's down to the success on the field? Because obviously if there's no success on the field, it's a little bit difficult to sell.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was probably one of the first fruits, really fortunate to come through with, like, say, Kev Sinfield and Danny Maguire's, Rob Burrows. But, Leeds have always been quite a big club, and the success definitely helps. You've got to...
The marketing is the biggest money earner at Headingley at the moment.
Yeah, you've got to get it the right way around, but certainly you've got to get people into the game who are be interested in it as well. Something I wanted to ask you, Tony, was the new competition, the league structure next year. You're in favour of it because it gives teams like Halifax an opportunity to make Super League.
Yeah, it's massive. I think they got the licensing maybe slightly wrong, and I think when we go to the 2 tiers and then splits into 3 tiers, I think it gives clubs with the ambition an opportunity to grow their club and gives them a chance. And that's the one thing that I want. I just want a chance. It kind of really frustrates me though, where other clubs are spending money that they potentially haven't got, which, if they don't succeed this year, or if they do succeed, it's only going to impact on them next year. That's certainly not our business model. We're going to get there the right way. So when we get there, or when we get there, at least we've got next year's distribution to spend as a full.
So did you not think the franchise system before, when it was all about building, you've just said there straight away they're just going to go out and they're spending all the money wrong, so that's why the franchise system didn't work, because they were badly run clubs, and they ended up spending what they didn't have.
If you look at the franchising system, have clubs gone bust while that process has been in place? I think the answer is yes. I don't know how many it is now. I think it may be 3, maybe 4. But if you look at what we're going to do now and split into the 2 12s and then into the 3 8s, if you run the club correctly, then I see it as a step forward. If you don't run the club correctly, then you're always going to have that bad taste in your mouth. And I'm sure that Reddell don't want that bad taste in the mouth. I'm sure that they don't want to see clubs going out and spending the cash to get there, and then when they get there, they haven't got the cash to back up being in where they're meant to be. Sometimes I get the impression and the vibes on the street that's potentially happening, and that's certainly not what we're doing.
If you could make one change in the game, just one, what would it be?
The RFL promoting to get more speckers in.
More promotion.
More promotion. The more people we can get watching the game, because I'm hooked. This is a great game, great spectacle that you guys put on the pitch. It's a great day out for family. I got into it as a family event, not just a business event. So I think the more people can get through the doors, the best.
It's interesting you say that. When we spoke to Marwan, he said at the Magic Weekend they went outside and it was a great festival atmosphere. It was really good. And he said he struggled to find any new fans, two new fans. They were all original fans. How do we get people who's not been brought into the game like hereditary because your parents played it, or how do we get that new group of people who've never seen a game of rugby league before?
Well, the one thing we don't do is free. If you give tickets away, people don't come. I've got stats to back that up. We went out and gave loads of tickets away, and I think the stats turn around and it just doesn't work. So free's not the option. What we've got to do is get out there. I think you mentioned it. Get out in the community. Expand on just rugby. Expand on there's other things happening with the event. One of the deals that we done last year was we had a New York day. We turned the game into a themed New York, and it was just a huge success. Huge success. There's more of that. That's what we need to do. We need to get to get these people in.
Well, thanks for that, Tony. Fantastic insight into the business of rugby league. Right now, don't go away. Join us after the break for more Rugby MTV.